Here's another privacy fence you could try building. The 1x6 8-footers have a 1x2 1.5 by 1.5 board running down the center to create this neat looking opposite curve, kind of a threading effect. And I am going to make this video here, kind of give you an idea how to do it, but also I'm going to make a second video for those who need a little more information and might not have a good idea, maybe more of a step-by-step instruction thing. But again, I realize some of you just need to see it, see how it's put together, and you can kind of assemble it yourself. So this is a neat looking fence. And it has, and you're going to have, this is something you're going to have to pay attention to. These boards need to be a little smaller. So we're using a 3/4 inch wide board here, and I have a 1 inch gap. And the reason is because the angle that it's going, you can see right here where this is probably about a 1/16 of an inch away. I don't think it's an 1/8 of an inch, but you could always do your own modeling or test to see what you would need. Maybe you could get away with a 7/8 of an inch gap, but an inch I think would be fine here. Give you an idea, these boards go down to the bottom of the last 1x6. Here's the 2x2 or an 1.5 by 1.5 board in the center, and you can always make this a little wider if you want to change, or if you want a little more curve in the fence. And again, there are a few different ways to build this, so I will make a few more models of them also. Give you an idea what the post would look like in the center. On the side there, and that side there. Okay, let's go ahead and take it apart. The first thing you're going to need to do is nail the two boards onto the side like this. Leave your gap, whatever you feel you're going to need. And then slide the bottom piece down. And you can drive a screw through it if you want. And you can see here how it's going through it. I don't recommend putting 2 or 3 screws in here. Wait until after you have the arc in the board. And you can always do something like this. Put a notch on the bottom of one of the side boards. Put a couple screws in the bottom. A framing anchor. Or you can do something like this where you cut a block and attach it to the post. And of course this would prevent the fencing from sliding down any further. Next up on the list, we will just simply slide the boards in from the top down and then just set them in. We're not going to attach them yet to the side. So these will just be kind of floating in there. Just kind of work your way up to the top. And then once we get to here, we can simply grab our center board and place it in the center and start threading it in between the boards. And this is where, like I said, if you have a problem with this, just make sure you watch the second video. I'll put a link to it at the end of the video when it's completed. But it shouldn't be a problem on an 8-foot fence or even a 10-foot fence, something you have a little wider. If you're spacing this about 6 feet or 4 feet or going with a larger board, this could be a problem. And if that's the case, I would definitely watch the next video. I'm going to show you how you can spread some of these boards apart. And of course, point out some of the problems you could have if you have a larger board here. But for the most part, you can simply pull these boards aside a little bit and push this down. You can put some screws in here to help you pull it down a little bit while you're pushing this stuff apart. With a little effort, you will eventually get the board into the position where you want it, and then double check, measure everything from the side, make sure that it's in the center. And hopefully it was as easy as I made it out to be, but we all know that's not always going to happen. I can draw something and make it look nice, but when it comes to building it, sometimes we're going to have a few problems that we don't think about. But anyway, I don't think this thing's that difficult to build for most do-it-yourselfers. But again, if you need a little more help, I will create another video eventually. I mean, it's going to be the next video that I make within a few days, and I will put a link here when it is completed at the end of the video.